Lithuania's move toward independence was to receive an unexpected boost from the collapsing communist regimes in Eastern Europe. As Gorbachev arrived in Berlin for the 40th anniversary of the state of East Germany, thousands of its citizens were fleeing to the west. But the celebrations went ahead. The old order maintained its usual style.
I remember also the crowds in German Democratic Republic. There was such a country last year. And we were there in October 1989, celebrating 40 years of this country. I remember the volume I was presented by the government, color photos and everything, showing great success this country had during 40 years of its existence.
Behind his smiles and kisses, Gorbachev had a sobering message to deliver. For more than a year, hardline regimes in Eastern Europe had proved an embarrassment to him. German party boss Erich Honecker had even interfered with Glasnost, the most prized of Gorbachev's achievements. At one point, Honecker tried to stop the printing of a play in a leading Soviet magazine.
Honecker wrote a letter to the Central Committee of the Soviet Communist Party, complaining that I was going against the party line, that I was an anti-communist, an anti-Soviet editor. So, my position was very shaky.
The publication of this play had provoked such a sharp attack from Honecker that the editor was called before the Central Committee.
I stuck to my guns and said, this play, which is on in our theaters, is not anti-communist or anti-socialist. I don't agree with Honecker. And in the party, there were already influential people who thought it was unacceptable that Honecker should be dictating to the Soviet press from Berlin.
I remember when he was in Berlin, Gorbachev had 2 meetings with Honecker. I was there. He very gently but firmly let Honecker know that the GDR had to change. He did not use a single harsh word. He did not say you're conservatives or reactionaries. He just said, look at the situation in the world. Everything is changing. We can't afford to go on acting the way we used to.
This warning came amidst a grand display of the might of Honecker's regime. All the Eastern Bloc leaders were in attendance, including Romania's Ceausescu. At one point, he suggested to Gorbachev that they use the might of the Warsaw Pact to crush anti-communist risings that were threatening their regimes.
Gorbachev said vehemently, rule that out. That will never happen, never again. We will never agree to that. Every nation must choose its own destiny. At one point, Ceausescu even wanted to intervene in Poland, alone, without us. He believed that recent changes in Poland and Hungary were a revolutionary infection. But Gorbachev, in no uncertain terms, warned Ceausescu against any action.
As Gorbachev left, demonstrations spread through East Germany. Honecker and other hardliners refused to read the writing on the wall.
They just could not believe that we'd let things take their course. I had to keep telling them that we wouldn't interfere. I told them, base your plans on this understanding. Remember, although our troops are there, They will not be used against you.
I cannot tell you how many sleepless nights I spent. I had been creating this security system myself, and it was just collapsing right then and there.
We gave strict orders to our troops not to leave the barracks. Certainly not to go shopping or anywhere else, just sit tight, so they wouldn't get dragged into any kind of provocation.
No one expected events to move as quickly as they did. Within weeks of Gorbachev's visit to Berlin, the wall came down, and the Cold War seemed to end on live TV. Some members of the Soviet Politburo watched with the same disbelief as the rest of the world.
When I saw what was happening on television and read about it in the papers, I knew that it wasn't just the Berlin Wall that was collapsing. It was our whole system. All the chiefs of staff, all the military leaders in the Warsaw Pact, they were all our friends. We had lived and worked together for years, and we still had some common interests. And now, these abrupt changes were forcing them to leave. Forever. Of course, we were all very upset.
That part of history, no matter how pleasant it might have been for some, is gone. It cannot be brought back. We certainly won't be trying to bring it back.
We lost the Warsaw Pact, while NATO got much stronger. The position of capitalism in Western Europe grew stronger, and we withered away.
What are the accusations? The accusations about Eastern Europe, that we lost Eastern Europe. We are charged with allowing the Germans to unite. We are also being accused of withdrawing our troops. I was involved in all those decisions, and I'm proud of that. Yes, proud. There was no alternative if we wanted to become a civilized nation.
The second